So here first we get a law about someone who transgresses God's covenant. Of course, transgressing, what is God's covenant? It's the text of Deuteronomy itself. What about somebody who decides not to listen to this law that I'm giving you right now? Obviously, that person is put to death, right? And with language that we've seen before, right? To purge the evil from your midst is what it comes next. Right. So yes, if somebody disobeys this law, we're going to kill them because disobeying is evil, right? And we're going to kill them to purge that evil from our society. Then we're told that if there is a difficult judicial decision, that it should come to the priests and the judge, right? The people who are at, where else? That centralized sanctuary, right? You shall immediately go up to the place that the Lord your God will choose, where you'll find the priests and the judge, and they'll announce to you the decision. And you obviously have to obey them. You have to carry out the law fully. Do not turn aside from it, either left or right. Anyone who presumes to disobey the priest appointed to minister there to the Lord or the judge, that person shall die. So you shall purge the evil from Israel, and everyone will hear and be afraid and not act presumptuously again. That's a lot of coercion again, right? You'll go to the central sanctuary that this text has decreed. You'll go talk to the priests who are using this text that we are, that we are placing there, and you will obey them. And if you fail to obey them, you will be killed as an example to anybody else who should dare to challenge the authority of the appointed priests and judges. And then we get to the climax of the chapter. You may eventually want to have a king for yourselves. And of course, the text is definitely written at a time when there is a king in Israel. So this is looking ahead, right? It's like fake prospective. I'm sure there's a technical term for that. You may eventually want to have a king for yourselves. And of course, that's okay. Go ahead and have a king. But when the king is sitting on his throne, he's going to get a copy of this law. This law, right? The one you're reading right now, Deuteronomy, he's going to get a copy of it written especially for him. And he's going to read it every day so that he follows the law. Who's really in charge here? This isn't the king determining and administering justice. This is the king subordinate to the law, which again makes great sense to us, but we live in a democracy where our lawmakers are in fact subordinate to the law. We're supposed to be. Right? This is, in its historical context of monarchy in the ancient Near East, totally revolutionary. Deuteronomy has replaced the king with Yahweh in its treaty structure, and it's also replaced the king with itself as like the ultimate source of political and theological authority. It's a constitution, but in a sense, it's also like a revolutionary manifesto. It's an attempt to dismantle the normal power structures and recenter them on itself as a text. It demands centralization of the cult in Jerusalem and of theology in its own laws, right? No more everyone doing what they want. Now we do this. It demands loyalty and obedience, both to Yahweh and to its own laws. It sets out an agenda that must be followed or the consequences will be dire. Everything about Deuteronomy, and uniquely so, and we'll see more of this next week, but everything about the text is self-promoting and self-promulgating and self-aggrandizing. It's like truly, I love Deuteronomy. I'm writing a commentary on it right now. I love it. It's a remarkable text, but I like legitimately, it is the text that I think has set the agenda for religious nationalism ever since.